I'm Steve Turano with Ask a Real Expert. ADT71 asks this: Hey Steve, could you do a video about getting in shape after 40? Are there any specific things we need to pay attention to, and can I still build muscle? The answer is yes and yes. The one thing I would tell you to do is keep your weight training regimen very simple, very basic, and initially very easy. Think in terms of physical therapy, and I know that's not a great thing to think about, but basically what we're going to do at the age of 40 for somebody who possibly has never lifted weights or has lifted weights 15 years ago but hasn't done anything for 15 years, we want to begin to gradually coax the body back into shape. So it's simple, basic, easy exercises. And primarily, most of those exercises should be done on some type of machine, so you can't hurt yourself. Bench press, incline bench press, pec deck, back machines, leg press, things like that. Probably the only other exercise I would think of in terms of free weights would be a curling exercise, whether it's dumbbells or barbells. But the most important thing is you want to use machines so you don't get hurt. And number two, you want to warm up thoroughly. Again, because at this stage in the game, as we get older, our muscles and more importantly our tendons lose elasticity. So what we want to do is we want to warm them up. We want to stretch them out. We want to increase their elasticity. So when we begin to get in shape and we begin to handle heavier weight and we begin to create an initial snap to drive the weight up or to curl it or do whatever, we don't end up tearing anything. So machines, good warm-up, and think in terms of working out gradually and easy so we coax our body back into shape. That's probably one of the three big things you got to remember, because it's not going to happen overnight. And most guys go balls to the walls, and then they can't move or they tear something. Great guy in the gym, 55, trained 20 years ago. He comes back to the gym, wants to do a contest. Really? A contest? You're out of shape, haven't lifted in 20 years? You want to do a bodybuilding contest? So he starts supplementing, which is fine, but now he starts getting into shape, and those supplements help him lift heavier weights, and boom, he tears a hamstring. So I don't want to put the fear in you guys, but again, use a little common sense. Nothing wrong with training hard. And I always say your soreness should be your measuring stick as to how hard you are working out. If you're so sore, you go, man, I don't need to push it any harder than that. But if you're not sore, you go, okay, I was in better shape than I thought. I can pick up the pace a little bit. Can you build muscle after 40? Yes, anytime you begin to lift weights. I don't care if you're 40, 50, 60, or 70, you can build additional muscle. It's a little harder when we're older because, again, our muscles and tendons are not as flexible, they're not as pliable. We don't have as much testosterone as a 15-year-old who's horny and ready to hump anything that moves. We also, our bodies are not running as efficiently as they normally are, just because of age. So you don't utilize calories as much, you're not going to recover as quickly. And again, these are all things that you have to measure as you're beginning to work out. So you work out on Monday and you go, man, I'm really sore on Tuesday, I'm still sore on Wednesday, but by Thursday I'm okay. And let's say you go through that and you go, wow, I bet you I can start working out on Wednesday. So you train on Monday and then you train on Wednesday and you go, whew, man, I just don't have the snap that I did have when I was on Thursday. So I need either to lighten up my workout or spread my recovery days out or do something. So you have to begin to pay attention, because when you begin training, you turn into an athlete. So my thoughts are is you need to start paying attention to the things that you do and how they affect your body. So if you ask any guy who's lifting weights, who's doing it with intensity, he can tell you how much he lifts, what weeks he's been lifting big, which weeks he hasn't been lifting big, what he's typically eating, that kind of stuff. So you do have to begin to focus on that. But there's nothing wrong with starting a weightlifting program at 40, and you can definitely build muscle. Just train smart and train hard. I'm Steve Turano.